friends, and welcome to a new video. We are definitely in a very different setting than usual. It's probably a little bit echoey in here, so I apologize, but we will be moving back to my office in a little bit. But today I wanted to film an unhaul for you guys. So I have kind of been putting off filming an unhaul. I have been doing I wanted to kind of sandwich this in between the two giant book hauls that I'm doing, because I know it can seem like I have a lot of new books, and I mean I do. I'm not going to lie about that, but I also have a lot of books that I'm kind of like moving on to better homes. So I will be bringing these back to Windsor eventually. I'm not exactly sure when, but that will be happening. And they will be going on the bookshelf that I put in at my old high school because they don't have a library. So yeah, these will just be there for anyone who wants to take them. They can absolutely take them. Like, they have no obligation to bring them back or anything. It's just kind of a good way for people to read, like get books to read essentially, and start reading for fun. I just constantly have so many books that I'm cycling through. I have so many books that I'm sent, and because of that, I kind of always have books to get rid of. So this room is kind of my secret shame. This is actually my boyfriend's office, which kindly he has lent to me over the past month. This was supposed to be a temporary solution, but with how busy things have been, it's ended up being a longer solution than either of us would have liked. So this is definitely on like my to-do list to sort out. But I have some books here that basically I pre-ordered them. I ended up with duplicate copies, like either the publisher sent me a copy or whatever happened, and I just never ended up bringing them back to the bookstore. So I'm just going to unhaul them. And then over here we have my secret shame of books that I've been sent for work. So these are all the books that I have been sent to like take photos of for work and everything. It's not even all of them actually, but this is definitely something that I'm going to need to go through soon, because I do want to like hang on to some for a little bit, because obviously if I need to take another photo of it, but there are some that like I know I'm probably done with, and those can definitely move on to a better home. But yeah, that's like part of the nature of working in social media at a publisher. You just end up with a ton of books. So one of my projects, and if you guys would like to see a video of this, I can do that for you guys, but one of my projects is to kind of go through these books and then get rid of the ones that I just don't want to read or I think would be better at another home. And then the rest of them, I think I might bring them to an extra bookshelf downstairs. So then they're at least on a shelf and not just in boxes here. They were in the guest room, but then we ended up like watching my boyfriend's grandma's cat for a little bit, and I didn't want to keep them in there. And yeah, they basically moved here and then haven't moved from there. So I also have a couple of giant piles of books to unhaul in my office. So I'm going to go through that as well and kind of go through my shelves as well and kind of see if there's anything else that I'm wanting to get rid of. I think that the ones in my office, I have shown you some of them, but I'm gonna show you again. I feel like you don't care at this point, and I don't really care, so we're just gonna keep doing it. So I just wanted to take a second to thank the sponsor for today's video, Ritual. If you aren't familiar with them, Ritual is an obsessively researched multivitamin. It reimagines health from the ground up and takes the guesswork out of vitamins, which is exactly what I need. It contains high quality ingredients that are difficult to get enough of every day, even with a healthy diet. They are vegan friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, with no added sugar, and allergen free, and they are transparent about everything that they do, which I think is awesome and so important, especially for something like vitamins. I have the women's multivitamin here, but they also offer vitamins for men, teens, prenatal, all of the things that you could need. And it's really fun because they send with like a mint tab in it, so it always smells so fresh and so nice, and it just makes it feel more exciting than taking just a vitamin. It also is gentle on an empty stomach because of the slow release capsule design. So with all of this in mind, if you guys were interested in checking out Ritual, I definitely recommend it. Like, I have really enjoyed my time taking it. I've been taking it for a few months now, I feel like, but I just love the fact that it takes the thinking out of everything. So Ritual has been kind enough to offer you guys 20% off of your first month. So if you click the link down below in my description and you use the code that I will have on the screen, then you can get 20% off of your first month of vitamins. So that's a month's worth of vitamins for a lot less, which is always great. So definitely check it out, and thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring today's video. So first book, Four Aunties and a Wedding by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This is obviously a duplicate copy, and I don't need 2 copies. Actually, I think I have 3 copies because I had a hardcover somewhere, but this is the one that I pre-ordered and just never ended up returning, so I will bring that to Windsor so someone else can read it. This Is Ever After. So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. This one, duplicate copy. The publisher sent me a copy, and like I've decided next year I'm not really going to pre-order, because what I would always do is at the end of the year I would make this like massive pre-order, because I would have a coupon for my birthday from Indigo, and whenever they had like a coupon code I would use that and then pre-order all of my books, so then I would get a discount as the books kind of came out, and it worked out really well. Like I wasn't really spending as much money on books, but then like I would have to return some because the publisher would send it to me and I wouldn't know that it's coming. Like I never really know what I'm going to be sent. So I'm just gonna try to not do that, because it was easier in Windsor because the Indigo was like 10 minutes from me maybe, but now it's like half an hour, so it's kind of out of the way. So it's not really, I don't get there that often, and because of that it kind of ends up being a pain. So next year I'm going to kind of work on that. Definitely not pre-order as many books. I also have Always Jane by Jen Bennett, which I really need to read this actually, but I had pre-ordered copy and Simon & Schuster ended up sending me a finished copy as well, so I just don't need 2 copies. The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sona Chirapotra. This is another one that I actually really need to read, but I don't need 2 copies of this one. I had pre-ordered it and then the publisher sent me a copy, which I didn't really, maybe I pre-ordered 2 copies of, no, actually, yeah, that's what happened. I pre-ordered 2 copies of this one, and obviously I just needed one. But sometimes I would like not know if I pre-ordered something. Just really disorganized. I need to work on that. We also have House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. So I had asked for this book from work, but then it also ended up being sent to me. So I just don't need 2 copies of it. Obviously, I'm just gonna read the one. And then we have Bright Rune Things by Samantha Coho. This one, I think I ended up getting sent an ARC, and I had pre-ordered it, and I was just like, if I have the ARC, I can just keep the ARC. I don't have to actually like buy the book. So that's why this one I might wait until like I actually read the book, and then if I actually really like it, then I'll keep the finished copy, but for now I'll keep it in this pile. And then Anatomy by Dana Schwartz, which I actually should probably try and read this soon, because it's like a gothic love story, which seems super cool and like just really great for around this time of year, fall and everything. But this is a duplicate copy. I don't know if the publisher sent me a copy of this one or I had ordered 2. Next we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Work ended up sending me a copy, so I had already pre-ordered it. So 2 copies again. I'll stop saying that. Then we have Confess by Colleen Hoover, which I don't know how I ended up with 2 copies of this. Or did I just decide to unhaul this one? Maybe I just decided to unhaul this. No, I think I still have it on my shelf. How did I end up with 2 copies? Okay, I definitely don't remember ordering a second copy of this one. I'm not really sure how I ended up with 2 of this, because I know that there was another book, there was another Colleen Hoover book, and I don't know where it went, but I had ordered it from Amazon, so then they sent me like a UK paperback, and I can't stand UK paperbacks. They're so stiff. So I did actually end up like reordering it. So then it was a floppy copy, but it wasn't this one because this one's floppy. I really could not tell you. Tokyo Dreaming by Amiko Jean. This one I pre-ordered, but then I ended up getting sent the ARC. So I actually have read this one and I didn't love it, unfortunately, because I loved the first book so much, but I don't need like a finished copy of this, so I'll just toss it along. I know you'd probably be like, why don't you keep the hardcover? But I don't like all of my books to be hardcovers. I kind of prefer like a floppy paperback, so that's why. See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I was sent a copy and this is the one that I pre-ordered. She Gets the Girl by Rachel Lippincott and Allison Derrick. Was sent a copy, but I pre-ordered it as well. And that one I had an ARC of too. I Kiss Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I was sent a copy of this one, and then I also ended up ordering the Indigo exclusive edition. So I'm keeping the Indigo exclusive edition. It's purple instead of green, and I really like purple, so I decided to keep that one. Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. This one I had pre-ordered, and then they sent me a copy of it. And then the last 3 from this pile, I was sent these for work, and I already have copies of them. So Daisy Jones and the Six, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I was filming a TikTok for work, and I just already have them, so I don't need them. Okay, now let's go to the office. Actually, first, because you guys are probably kind of curious, this is what's going on here with my workbooks. So the ones on the top are kind of the new ones, but it is indeed like it's completely double stacked. There are just so many books that I've had to take photos of and everything. So yeah, this is just definitely a major situation. And then not that far over, we have this whole situation that's happening. Yeah, it's a lot, so let's get into it. I guess I'm just gonna hold the camera because I don't really know where to put it. The Shadow Queen by CJ Redwine. I have debated about getting rid of this one, and I've definitely unhauled it like 3 times, but I think realistically, I'm just not gonna read it, so I need to just kind of accept that. Then I have the Genesis Wars by Kemi Dawn Bowman. This one is kind of on the fence because I haven't read the first book yet. So if I read the first book, then I'll probably get a better idea, but I really haven't been gravitating toward like fantasy or sci-fi, and I think that's exactly what this one is. It seems like a really interesting concept. I just don't know if it's something that's like for me anymore. Twice as Perfect by Louise Oname. This is another duplicate copy. I didn't actually know that the publisher was sending it to me. Like, it showed up out of nowhere, which is exciting because I had wanted to read this one, but I had already pre-ordered it, so I ended up with 2 copies of it. Bedazzled by Ryan LaSalle is kind of one that I've gone back and forth on, but those books that I've kind of gone back and forth on, I'm trying to just call it. It's just really hard for me. I have commitment issues. Then we have The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker. This is an ARC that I was sent. Then The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. I've actually heard some good things recently. I can't remember where I saw it, but definitely someone gave this like a pretty positive review recently, so maybe I will keep this one. I'll give it a second chance. I don't really know. It was sent to me last year, but it was sent to me like right after Halloween. So I was like, well, my witchy season is kind of over. I know for some people it's like year round, but for me, it was done. See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I had triple copies of this one. So that's an ARC. And then also I have an ARC of I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. And I don't need 3 copies of any book. The Fascinators by Andrew Eliopoulos. I don't know when I got that one. The Other Side of the Sky by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I was really interested in this one because these are the authors of These Broken Stars, and I really enjoyed those books, but this has just been like sitting on my shelf for so long. So if you've read it, let me know. Like any of these, if you've read them and they were really good, let me know. And I can make a decision from there. But yeah, this is just kind of me trying to actually like make final decisions rather than just sitting on things for a while. The Kindred by Alicia Doe. This was sent to me unsolicited, and it seems like sci-fi. I'm just not really that into that one, so I think someone else might like it more. The Other Side of Perfect by Mariko Turk. I thought this was about figure skating, so it's about ballet, which is fine, but I think because I thought it was about figure skating, that kind of mildly disappointed me. So, oh well. Sisters of Song and Sword. I have never read, actually, that was a lie. That's absolutely not what I meant to say. I've read one book by Rebecca Ross, and I thought it was okay, but I've bought like all of her books since then because the cover looks so cool. So I think I have another one on my TBR, but is this one good? I don't know. Let me know. And then The City Beautiful by Aiden Polydoros. This one was sent to me unsolicited, so I'm not entirely sure about it, but it seems like it might be interesting. I put these here so long ago. It's so hard for me to remember. Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. This is supposed to be like I believe it's Les Mis mixed with the Jungle Book, and I just don't really know what to think of that. It's really, you'll notice quite a few fantasies because I've kind of accepted the fact that I'm not over fantasy, but it's something that I'm not gravitating toward quite as much as maybe I used to, and that's like totally fine. I'm coming to accept that. So yeah, it's kind of reflected in this pile, unfortunately. Set Fire to the Gods by Sarah Rosh and Kristen Simmons. I've never read anything by Kristen Simmons, but Sarah Rosh wrote Snow Like Ashes, and I liked that a lot. So I pre-ordered this when it came out, and like, maybe it'd be cool. It's gladiators and stuff. Let me know. I don't know. I'm probably going to like change my mind on some of these, but I'm just trying to free up some shelf space for things that I'm like really excited about. So kind of if in the moment it's not exciting me, I'm kind of like, okay, moving on. Queen of Tiles by Hannah Alcoff. I just don't know if I want to read like a mystery about Scrabble. I don't know. I'm really torn on that one. Muse by Brittany Cavallaro I know seems kind of weird, and I believe, yeah, this is the author of A Study in Charlotte. I think that the sequel of this one just came out, but it had been sitting on my TBR forever. Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. This is actually an ARC, so I don't need that. Mirage by Samaya Dowd. I had this one like to unhaul, and then I changed my mind, and now I'm changing my mind again. I really don't know. Reverie by Ryan LaSala once again. Then I have an ARC of Exactly Where You Need to Be by Amelia Diane Coombs. So they sent me a finished copy, so I have that one. A Winter's Promise by Christelle DeBose. This is actually translated from the French, so kind of one of my like pipe dreams, I guess, is to be able to read it in French rather than the translated version one day. Will it happen? I don't know, but yeah. Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Foster-Doust. I just don't know if I'm gonna read that. Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. I already have a copy. They just sent me it for like promotional purposes. I'm just gonna sit this on top of the next pile that I'm actually gonna have to grab, so that's kind of inconvenient, but I'll move things around a little bit. This one by, like, this was sent to me from Simon & Schuster. I just don't know if I'll, like, it's a cool art sort of thing. I just don't know if it's really my vibe. That's why I'm kind of, I feel like other people would enjoy it more. Like, it's not that I think these are bad books or anything. I'm just kind of like trying to just read the things that excite me, or else I kind of send myself into a reading slump, and that's no fun. Bad Things Happen Here by Rebecca Barrow. I'm just not super into mysteries. I really only read them around this time of year in like a very select few, so making decisions based on that. And A Bone Weaver by Aiden Polydoros. I don't know if this one's good too, like maybe it would be a good kind of Halloween read. It doesn't help that I've also been like gravitating toward the books that require pretty much the least amount of brain power from me, and these fantasies, they require a lot. I'm gonna put these on the top of the next pile so then I can actually have it like the camera sitting on top of it. But I also have Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I have been sent like 3 copies of this book, so I don't need that many. I just am keeping one, as well as These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends. I have just a lot of copies of this, like everything by this author, which is awesome because I think she's really great, but it's just, you know, I don't need that many. Please ignore the books that are on the floor. This is so precarious, it's like shaking, but my next video that I'm filming is like cleaning my office because it really needs to be done. It's super bad, but moving on. Girl Crushed by Katie Heaney. From work, essentially, we were able to choose some free books and everything, so I was like, oh, this looks fun, but then the reviews are really bad. Like, the author doesn't seem like a great person, so I don't think I really need to keep that one. A Cruel and Fated Light by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is kind of the same situation as the Akemi Dawn Bowman one, where it's a sequel, it's a book 2, and it's for a fantasy series, and I'm just not really sure if like I'm going to actually read that. So when I read it, I'll see and then go from there. Scander and the Unicorn Thief by A.F. Stedman. This was sent to me unsolicited, and I don't think it's something that I'm really going to read. Beating Heart Baby by Leo Min. This seems like it could be a good story, like friends to enemies to lovers, and I believe that it's a queer love story, but when it comes to those stories, I do kind of like to give them to the bookshelf, so then like people who might not be comfortable or might not feel okay going to get a book like that for themselves, they might not feel safe that way, it's a way to get it into their hands. So that encourages me to just like think of what other people might need. So yeah, that was kind of my thought with this one. The Witch King and the Fae Keeper, I don't think I'm into fantasies all that much anymore, so that was the thought process there. This Is Why They Hate Us. I don't know where I got this one, honestly, and I don't remember what it's about. Debating Darcy. I don't know. I honestly don't have a reason for a lot of these, so we're just gonna go with it. The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott. I already have a copy. They just sent me the paperback for it. These I think I had already kind of shown you guys that I was going to get rid of. Postcards from Summer by Cynthia Platt. I was sent this one. I just don't think I'm gonna like, it's so big for a contemporary. Don't think I'm gonna read it. Bright by Jessica Young, I think. Probably not Jung, but this was sent to me, and I know that it's a K-pop star, so I think a lot of other people would really enjoy that a lot more than I would. Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. This is the paperback, but I have the hardcover copy. Summer's Edge. I have 2 copies here, obviously, but I don't think I'm really into the whole like horror thing. Okay, and then moving over here, we have Unhooked by Lisa Maxwell. The Upside of Falling by Alex Light, Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. I feel like I showed you guys these. That's why I'm kind of going through these quickly. The Great Unknowable End by Catherine Ormsby. The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. This whole series, I've tried to read it. Like, I got kind of far last year, but I just don't think that I am actually going to read it. This one, unsure about. It's just been sitting here though, but I might keep that one. The Looking Glass by Janet McAnally. This one I think was about ballet. Maybe I will read it, but I think the Looking Glass is like the reason that I got it mostly. I was like, oh, it has like an Alice in Wonderland-esque name, so then I picked it up. Beneath the Citadel by Destiny Soria. Seems like it could be cool for this time of year. Cast in Firelight by Dana Swift. I don't really know. Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. This is definitely one that I might go for. I know it's about like necromancy, so interesting. And then the last ones are Stolen Songbird and The Broken Ones by Danielle L. Jensen. So yeah, I'm gonna put these back and then I'll continue talking. I just feel like the camera is so precarious right now. I would like to kind of reinforce it. Okay, so that's kind of where things are at with my shelves. I don't think I'm really gonna go through right now. I think I'll do that as part of my little office cleanup, and then if anything, I can just film another unhaul for you guys. I like doing them. So I know it might seem like I'm always getting books and then unhauling them, but it's just like I get sent so much, right? And it's hard to hang on to everything and I feel bad, but then at the same time, I would feel really selfish if I just hung on to these books when I know that someone else might need them and someone else might really want to read them. So that's why I'm trying to be kind of more selective about what I'm actually putting on my shelves and really thinking about that decision. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with all of this. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that makes sense for you guys. And I hope that no one is offended by, like, it really doesn't mean anything against the author or anything if I'm getting rid of a book. It's just, I think that someone else might enjoy it more than me. And I have to make some decisions because, oh my God, I have so many books coming in constantly. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video nonetheless. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in another new one soon. Bye.